you palpate in here, that's gonna be the easiest place for us to palpate. And if we suspect that it's injured, we're gonna probably do a resisted range of motion on the digits to see if, and if you want, you can just put your fingers on the proximal phalanx. So then that way you're really truly assessing the brevis more than you are the longus. But the reality is you're gonna probably assess both of them at the same time.
Okay. Next is inferior and superior extensor retinaculum.
Okay, so remember we talked about the perineal retinaculum, we got an inferior and superior. Same thing's true here. So if I put my hand right here and I ask Ashley to go into dorsiflexion, all right, we can see like right here is where the inferior retinaculum be, dorsal retinaculum, and right here is where the superior retinaculum is going to be, okay?
Tibialis anterior.
Tibialis anterior. So remember, it's going to originate like this up here. It's going to come down, and it inserts on what?
The first cuneiform.
Yeah, in the first cuneiform, okay? So because it originates up here, and it's in that anterior compartment, it's going to do what motion?
Dorsiflexion and inversion.
Dorsiflexion inversion, okay? So we're going to take and resist that motion right there, and you'll see the tibialis anterior pop out right there. See it right there? Nice.
Extensor hallucis longus.
Extensor hallucis longus. So it's going to be in the anterior compartment, it comes down here onto the first digit. If I take and I resist Ashley bringing her toe up, you can see that tendon right there, okay?
I had some nice tendinosynovitis in that.
Oh yeah?
It was fun.
Next one.
Dorsal pedis pulse.
Dorsal pedal pulse. So my guess is we'll probably have problems finding this in Ashley again, but the dorsal pedal pulse you can find up here, or you may have to move your fingers down here to find it on people.
So what structures is it usually like in between or like over top of?
What I have found the best luck is right here between the malleoli.
Okay.
Is where I've had the best success finding it, but everybody's different, so you may have to move around to find that, okay?
Okay. That's all for dorsal.
Okay?
Wow.
We go in plantar,
Last section.
okay?
We got it for you.
You may have to flip over on this one
Oh,
too.
no problem.
What do we got? What's our first one?
Plantar fascia.
All right, so we'll let Ashley flip over. So the plantar fascia, I'll show you on the skeleton first. Plantar fascia, remember, is going to originate on what's this structure?
Calcaneal tuberosity.
Yeah, the medial calcaneal tubercle, right? So it originates here, and then it's going to go up to
Metatarsal heads.
the metatarsal heads. So we're palpating from here, right here is the medial calcaneal tubercle, and I'm going to palpate just like this. Okay, and it kind of fans out, so you gotta palpate in different areas there. Okay, sometimes in people that have really tight plantar fascia, if you just put their foot into a dorsiflex position, you'll actually see it start to pop out. And maybe next week I'll show you guys mine, because I have my left foot's like really tight plantar fascia, and it pops out really obviously.
Inner metatarsal neuroma.
Okay, intermetatarsal neuroma is going to be a pathology that we're going to talk about more, but I'm going to show you where you would palpate to identify that pathology. So we already discussed the metatarsal heads right here. So if you go between the metatarsal heads, what you're going to find is there's going to be space where nerves are running through. Those nerves can become inflamed, and that's where we get a metatarsal neuroma to occur.
Okay.
All right. So one of the things that I'll teach you guys later is if you have a pencil, you take the eraser end and you go between the metatarsal heads and you push in there. And if that produces pain and discomfort, metatarsal neuroma is probably a possible pathology.
Okay, so that's what Dr. Coop, well, not said to do, but like some athletic trainers push that whenever people don't keep
Yeah.
their foot dorsiflex.
Yeah, yeah. And you don't have to have a pencil, like I can take my finger and just push between there and do the same thing, but yeah.
Gastroc and soleus.
Gastroc and soleus. All right, so from anatomy class, you guys probably remember that the gastroc heads originate on the posterior aspect of the femoral condyles, right? So remember that the gastroc is a two-joint muscle, right? So it's gonna flex at the knee, and it's gonna cause plantar flexion at the ankle, right? So as you palpate up here, palpate those two heads, palpate all the way down, and all you're gonna do is just keep palpating down here to the Achilles tendon, to the calcaneal tuberosity. And that's where you'd palpate the gastrocnemius. The soleus, we're gonna start here. It's gonna be on the if I remember right, it's on the soleal, how do I? Soleal lines, okay? And you go from here down like that, okay? Remember that the soleus is not a two-joint muscle, okay? So that's why we're not going up above the knee on that one.
How do you tell the difference, or like how do you palpate the difference?
So we're gonna get to just palpating. The difference is gonna be just location,
Okay.
all right? But know this, that the soleus is much deeper than the gastroc,
Okay.
okay? And we're gonna probably differentiate between them more with manual muscle testing than anything else.
Okay. The next one is Achilles tendon.
All right, Achilles tendon. This is a pretty easy one. Right there is our Achilles tendon. Okay, next one.
Subcutaneous bursa.
Subcutaneous bursa. So you guys tell me, what does subcutaneous mean?
Below the skin.
It's under the skin, all right? So remember, we got our Achilles here. Between our Achilles and our skin sits the subcutaneous bursa. And you guys remember what I told you about bursas last class period?
The fluid-filled sac can become inflamed.
Yeah, when it gets pinched, all of a sudden it becomes filled with fluid, okay? So like right now, if we look at Ashley's foot, it doesn't look like the bursa is inflamed, right? If it was inflamed, what you're gonna see is you're gonna see like a bump that occurs here. And another thing that'll occur, especially here at the Achilles, is the Achilles will actually start to thicken. That can be Achilles tendonitis, or it can be a bursitis as well. And I think the next one is subtendinous.
Yep.
So where do you think the subtendinous bursa sits here? Yeah, so we got skin, subcutaneous, we got the Achilles tendon. Underneath the Achilles tendon, between the Achilles tendon and the bone of the calcaneus, sits the subtendinous bursa. Okay?
How would you differentiate between the subtendinous and the subcutaneous?
You're not going to.
Okay. You just knew it would be bursitis or
Yep.
one of the two.
Yeah, if you see inflammation here, you know that it's probably bursitis or tendonitis.
That's it.
That's all of them?
We're done.